All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. Excuse me. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Pretty good. Not too bad. How'd you do on your picks last night?
I went 3-0.
Did you? I went 4-2.
Yeah, I had the Mets at the +1.5. They won the game. I had Orioles money line. They won. And I had Reds money line, and the Reds won.
Kick butt.
Yeah, they had 18 hits in that game. For a team that hasn't been hitting the ball very good.
And they haven't been hitting the ball very good. But, there's won 7 games out of the last 10.
Yeah.
So, they are playing better baseball. We just got to.
Biggest problem is we're hitting 220 as a team.
You'd be a lot more comfortable with batting about 240, 250 at least.
And our ERA isn't terrible. I think our ERA is like 3.54 or something. Yeah. So that's not terrible.
No, our pitching's doing pretty good.
But you're only hitting 220. As a team, it makes it rough. But here the last few games, the bats have seemed to be starting to come alive a little bit. So maybe we're going to start getting in a groove, hitting the ball like we did last year. And if we do that, I think we'll be where we want to be at toward the end of the season and have a chance for the playoffs. But
those
got to hit the ball better, and we still run ourselves out of too many innings.
Yeah, I like being aggressive, but we get a little carried away at times. And them Yankees and Phillies have been on fire, Been the best 2 baseball teams so far this year, but it's still very early. Cleveland's doing a pretty good job, too. The Indians are quietly, I think they're like 39-20. They're having a good year.
The Kansas City Royals have been a lot better this year than what I think a lot of people were expecting. And see, I thought the Diamondbacks would be doing better than what they are so far. They've gotten off to kind of a slow start after making the World Series last year. But some of that is too, like last year, their rookie Carroll had a big year hitting the ball. This year, he's not been hitting the ball near as good. And I think it goes back to like we were talking about with Benson. Benson got off to a slow start last year, but then he just exploded and started hitting the ball, pounding the ball. But then this year, he's hitting like 199.
Yeah.
And I think some of that's due to now these teams have got to see you for a season, and they come up with a better game plan for you. And now the hitter got to make some adjustments. I think you're seeing the same thing with Carroll there in Arizona.
Yep.
because his numbers have dropped off a lot from last year. And he had a great rookie season, but you see that. Well, I'm not saying he won't pick it back up. You know, what I mean, you do see sometimes that second season
sophomore slump.
They'll start off kind of slow. And we're seeing that with Benson. Haven't seen it as much with Steer. I mean, and it hurts. Some of the injuries the Reds have had hurt. I mean, some of the bullpen injuries, and then like having McLean out the whole season really sucks because.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was going to say that having McLean out, I think has definitely hurt because he had a pretty steady bat. He always had good at bats. Yeah, I think they miss him some.
He was one of our most. I know. Last year was basically his rookie year, but he was one of our most consistent players. You kind of knew what you were going. You know what I mean? You kind of knew what you were going to get from him every game. It seemed like he was pretty consistent. So I think we are missing that quite a bit this year.
I seen some stats earlier, a comparison of De La Cruz and Barry Bonds, their first 100-some games. And their stats are almost identical, except for a couple where De La Cruz, a lot more stolen bases than what Bonds had. I'm like 27 more bases than he had. De La Cruz has got a bright future. He's still got some growth to do, but like you said, he's very young. I don't know what Bond's age was. I think they was pretty close to the same age.
Yeah. Sometimes he gets too aggressive.
But I'll tell you what, his arm.
Oh yeah, and he has. I mean, and his speed, but just sometimes he'll try to stretch stuff that's like, dude, there was no way you were going to. But yeah, he has a hell of an arm. He threw one yesterday. Yesterday that was a rocket, and he did the other day too.
A couple of days ago, yeah, I helped him win that game. Yeah, very excited ball player. No doubt about that. I mean, I know he makes some mistakes, but he's very exciting.
There's a lot of Reds fans that don't like him at shortstop. Say the Reds need to move him to the outfield. I think he's pretty damn good shortstops because he has a lot of range, and then with that arm, even with his arm,
there's balls that he gets to that other people can't get to, and as a cutoff, going to him as the cutoff guy, and he's got a good chance of throwing people out. He's thrown out several people this year at home plate already. Yeah, I think he's a perfect shortstop with the range he's got.
Yeah, I didn't really understand all the hate on him last year at shortstop, especially as a rookie.
I don't think he makes a lot of errors either. So I mean, why would they complain? I think eventually, he'll end up being a Gold Glove shortstop in the future.
What I like is you've seen the growth in him at the plate. He don't chase near as many bad pitches as he did last year.
I agree. Been a lot more
patient. That's one thing that he's improved a lot on is his patience at the plate. Because last year he swung, it seemed like every fucking thing.
Yep.
And he's drawing a lot more walks this year because he's being a lot more selective. And so that is one thing I've seen growth in him, Matt. Like I said, base running sometimes still drives me nuts. But
yeah, I agree. Well, we'll talk a lot about this, but we're a day after the thing that happened with McAfee, what he said, and a lot of people going crazy. Chris, what's your take on it? I'll give my take afterwards.
Hey, what's up, Glenn? I think the deal with McAfee got overblown. For one, I think a lot of people are just watching the 30-second clip that a lot of people put out instead of watching the whole 15-minute segment that they done, and then you get it more in context. I didn't think it was a big deal. He wasn't using it. He wasn't using it maliciously or disrespect, like trying to downgrade somebody. He wasn't attacking the. You know, I mean, he was trying to express how it looks like that's how the WNBA feels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with Glenn. So to me, I didn't think it was that big a deal. Honestly, I really didn't think he really needed to come out and apologize. he did, which is fine. I mean,
That's
but I mean, me personally, I mean, it didn't bother me to the point where, he should, that was wrong. He should have went and apologized. I never came off to me like that. It might have, I guess it did some people, but like I told you earlier, a lot of that is just in this new media world that you have going on is just people looking for clicks, and they knew they could click out that 30-second thing and then put a headline saying McAfee calls Caitlin Clark white bitch. That boom, people are going to explode, and then it's going to catch wheels of its own.
My take is we got a bunch of soft ass people out here that couldn't make it 20, 30, 40 years ago. Definitely when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, they couldn't make it. And probably not even 20 years ago. It's ridiculous. The only person he should apologize to, and if they took it out of context, would have been Caitlin Clark. That would have been the only person.
And
in my opinion.
I know he did reach out and personally apologize to her, is what he had said yesterday. And then today on the show, he said that when he kind of addressed it a little bit, he said that Caitlin didn't feel disrespected by it or what and stuff. So, and he kind of said that like that's what really mattered.
Yeah, he was defending her.
Yeah,
what he was doing against the way she'd been treated, and he was giving an outlook of other people when he said that. And people are morons, and anybody that thinks he should be canceled is a fucking moron. That's my opinion.
Well, and then like people say, the funniest thing to me was like people saying he should be suspended, and people was bitching because it was 3 hours before his show was supposed to be on today, and ESPN still hadn't suspended him or anything, and there's no way he should be on there. Okay, even if everybody has the right to feel how they feel, but here's my thing. What's ESPN going to do? He owns his show. They license it to be on there. All ESPN could have done was told him, "Hey, your show's not going to be on ESPN today." They could have done that. What would he have done? He just still had his show like normal on YouTube, and just as many, if not more, people would have watched it. And you know what I mean? The only person that would have got hurt out of it would have been ESPN, because they're going to lose all the people that watch that show. And like you had said, how many people turned in the beginning of that show today to see what his response was going to be and what he was going to say. And
not on the same level, but there's people out there who's rooting for Caitlin Clark to fail. There's people out there rooting for McAfee to fail because he is different. He's new to the game, not necessarily new, but new to ESPN. Yeah. And he's doing great things. And there's people that does he get treated different?
Well, he's new to the TV world. Yep. He's been on his show's been an internet. Yeah, his show's been an internet show.
But he's having big success, and there's people who didn't have the guts to put him on their channel, or people that's jealous because they can't do that, or because they're not talented enough to do it, or they're not allowed to do it. And so there's people
or they didn't have the guts to bet on themselves like he did, where he owns all this stuff.
Yep. He was a very smart guy.
And why do you think you see these other people? Why do you think Stephen A. Smith all of a sudden now has his own production company and is doing his own show on YouTube? Because and there's a lot of people who are doing it. McAfee wasn't the first one. He was one of the first in big sports personalities. But I mean, Joe Rogan. Look what Joe Rogan has built. Yep. Bill Simmons, when he left ESPN and all that, he's been pretty much on his own. I mean, there's been guys that have done it, but nobody's done. But I mean, McAfee in the sports world has done it to a whole nother level. And yeah, there's a lot of people that want to see him fail, but I don't know. I don't understand why people like to root for people to fail so much. And then especially like if you're in the league, like all this exposure, no matter who is who is getting the most exposure to the WNBA, which is Clark, but no matter who's doing it, it's going to help everybody.
Yep. And there's people saying she don't deserve it. What do you mean she don't deserve it? She's one of the best. She's one of the best college basketball players to ever play. Did she come in at the right time? Is she lucky? Whatever. How can you say she don't deserve it?
Yeah.
Another thing is, anything that anybody offers you, you're worth whatever you can get. If somebody's offering you $20 million deals to be a spokesperson or whatever you're offered, whatever you can get, you get what you can get. You get what you're worth.
What they try to use their argument is that she don't deserve it because she hasn't done nothing in the WNBA yet. Okay, well, she's a rookie. When all them players when they were rookies, they'd never done nothing in the WNBA. And they all talk about this is the W. This is the greatest league in the world. Okay, it's the greatest league in the world that nobody watched.
How good was the attendance at games, Chris? She's made a big difference on the attendance too. Live attendance.
Well, the Fever's attendances went up over 13,000 a game.
Yep.
It went from having like 6,000 a game to 17,000 a game.
And when she goes to other places, they are selling out.
Yeah, they're moving to different arenas so they can seat more people. The New York Liberty game done a $2 million gate. That was the biggest gate that they'd ever done. Plus, it's going to help everybody. The more money the league makes, then they're going to start. They'll be able to start paying players more. Yep. You get a bigger TV deal. You'll get more advertising. I mean, it just. I mean, I don't understand all the hate, but I didn't think McAfee. Me personally, I didn't think he really done anything wrong. If you watched it, I watch the show every day too. So, but if I don't watch it, I'll listen to it. But I watched it from the beginning yesterday. That whole segment.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here cracking up. Yep. I thought it was great. I was glad. I was glad he was doing it because none of the other media outlets were going to give you a take like that. Hell, but what was kind of funny, you had on First Take yesterday, Stephen A. and I can't remember her name. One of the women on there got into it on the show and were going at it, and then Stephen A. got on his channel and kind of went off on her a little bit.
Really?
She accused Stephen A. live on there of not doing enough to cover the WNBA the last 3 years. Basically told him with the platform you had, you could have been covering this before, and you try to, it's just
could have, should have, would have, but he is now. So that
it was Monica McNutt.
They're upset now because they're doing it now, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. It wasn't because you didn't do it when I was there, or when such and such was there, or their favorite player was there. It's all jealousy. It's ridiculous. It really is.
But it's with any league. Where was the NBA at before Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came around?
What heights did Jordan take it?
The league was dying. Yeah. Them two came around. The league hit a little bit of a spurt. Then Jordan came around, and that's when it exploded, and that's when it really exploded. They were going at it. Then Shannon Sharp had Monica McNutt on his Nightcap YouTube show last night. Let her talk about it more, and stuff. It comes down to jealousy, envy, resentment, whatever word you want to use for it. I mean, that's what it was like. And they'll say that, that's how the WNBA has always been. It's been physical. Yeah, there's a difference between physical play and then a cheap shot, and then just all the stuff, like, and then the stuff at the comments and press conference stuff. Yeah. I don't have a problem with them playing physical. Play physical. I mean, that's part of the game.
Yeah, and I don't think Clark has a trouble with them playing physical. She'll play physical too. So I don't think she has an issue with that.
No, I think she's handled it pretty good. To be honest, you don't hear, you know what I mean? You don't hear her crying about it. She's just going on about her business.
I've seen a couple of players come out and on other teams now. I think one that played with Clark. Can't remember her name, but come out and defended Clark and what's going on, which I think is good. Can't remember her name now.
Was it that Kate Martin?
It may have been.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. People say, well, she's not putting up the numbers like everybody thought she would. She's averaging a close 20 points a game, which is good for a rookie. But
she's rookie. She's voted rookie.
People got to remember how many. Glenn brought up Peyton Manning there about his calmness. What Peyton Manning play at like as a rookie?
Well, team wise, it was 3-13.
Yeah,
had a bunch of interceptions,
and he set the record for the most interceptions for a rookie. What did he do the next season? Colts were 13-3 and almost a play away from beating Tennessee and having a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
When they let Eddie George bust out for like a 40-yard run or something against Tennessee, and then Tennessee lost on the last second 1 yard short in the Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, and she's been the schedule, the way they set the schedule up didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like Glenn just said, they've been playing the top teams, and they've played 11 games where a lot of like I said, the defending champion Aces only played 5 or 6. They played 11 games in 20 days. Now they're getting a 5-day break. I expect, hopefully, if this coach is worth a fuck at all,
I did see where the coach
they'll start looking a little bit better, because I understand they had no practices or none, so it's hard to build continuity, and you're trying a new offense or a new offensive system or whatever, and get everybody on the same page when you're not getting the practice. So hopefully they get this 5 days, they have a little bit of rest, they can work on some things, and hopefully they start showing some more continuity. But that's my biggest thing. They don't look like a team out there. And in an offense, I just think there's too much standing around. They should be setting screens like crazy to be try to free her up, and then they should be using the pick and roll with her in Boston, and her and you could use it with her and Smith. I mean,
yeah, I agree with you. I don't understand their game plan. That coach did come out and finally defend Caitlin, and said it was ridiculous, about that foul, and wasn't even a play going on at the time, and get hit. She finally came out and attacked the league. I seen that today. Seen a report of it. Yeah. And my thing is, my opinion is, the women in WNBA should be out there in their game, showing out, playing as great as they can play, because they got more eyes on them, more people talking about the WNBA than ever has before. Make this product the best product you can be. Doing this could end up having the opposite effect. When you've got the most eyes on you, and if people get a negative reaction to it, you may kill your league. You finally got the opportunity you're looking for as a league to get eyes on you, no matter what the reason is. Don't kill it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
because you may not get another opportunity,
and people will quit. People will quit watching. Just because you got a lot of people watching now, don't mean they'll continue to watch if you don't perform, and then with everything that's going on, it's coming off as you hate the person that's helping bring all these people. So the people that are coming to see her are going to start turning. They'll start turning against the rest of the league.
Yep, very easily could.
I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I've watched more this year than I've ever watched. But like Glenn, I know Glenn's been watching it forever, and I know, and like he said in that comment about Fever went from just him there when the state fair was going on to 17,000 people at a game. You know what I mean? So he's seen the difference. And hell, he got off of the fever Twitter because of all the stuff that was going on. You know what I mean? That's a guy. He's a guy that's been, I think he said, basically season tickets since like 2018.
I know I've been going to games since 18, maybe a season ticket. So definitely a huge fan, Big Glenn is.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. If you have people like him that have been invested in it for like 5 years that are already getting kind of tired of the way it is, how long is it going to take new people to get tired of it? You know, and I think there are some, and it's not all the WNBA players that that feel that way and act like that, but and also I think the media hasn't helped some either, because you get people that start trying to make it racial, or you get people that are making it, you know, I mean, trying to make it about different things, and then it just adds more steam to all of it. All right. Well, yesterday I went 3-0 in baseball. It's basically all there is again today. NBA finals start Thursday. NHL starts Saturday.
Yep.
There's a few WNBA games tonight, but I really didn't like any of the spreads, so I just went with the baseball. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Royals at the +1.5 on the road at the Cleveland Guardians. Royals have Lugo on the mound. He's like 6-1 this year as a starter. Been pitching real well. I'm gonna take the Brewers. Wait a minute, where'd it go? Here it is. At the +1.5 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies. Brewers, I think, have the advantage in the pitching matchup here. Going to be a close game, because I think it'll be a close game. Like you said, the Phillies have been one of the hotter teams too, so I think it's going to be a real good game. But I like the Phillies at the +1.5. I'll take the Yankees on the money line at home against the Twins. Yankees have Gill on the mound. He has a real good record as a starting pitcher this year. He's been pitching well. And then I'm going to take the Cincinnati Reds or on the road. Yeah, on the road at the Rockies. I'm going to take them on the money line at the -132. Red, like you had said, Reds have won 7 of their last 10. The bats have been starting to come around. We've been getting some good starts from our pitchers, and I'll look for Montas to have a good start tonight. So I'm going to go with the Reds on the money line there. So that's gonna be the 4 games I went with.
I went with 6 games again. I'm going to go with the Dodgers on the road money line at Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with Philadelphia at home money line against Milwaukee. I'm going with the Yankees at home money line against Minnesota. I'm going with Baltimore money line on the road at Toronto. I'm going with Atlanta money line on the road at Boston. And I'm going with Cincinnati money line on the road at Colorado.
It says some parts of WNBA community, Clark fans are Trump supporters, laughing my ass off. Hey, don't be saying that, Glenn, because then it'll start being, if you're a Caitlin Clark fan, you're racist.
Yeah.
So,
well, they've already made it about race anyway. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was kind of what the point that McAfee was making yesterday, when everybody got bent out of shape because of the words he chose to use. But I mean, that was kind of the whole point. Yeah, and honestly, when you watched that yesterday, because I think you saw it live.
Yep, I did.
Did you have any? I mean, did it even come like in your head that there was going to be a big backlash about it?
Never even considered it. It was.
I mean, that's how. Like I said, it didn't trigger. It didn't trigger me or cause me to think anything. Like I never, like when he said it, I didn't think, oh shit.
I took the whole.
You know, man, I didn't think like, oh shit, what's he doing? He's gonna get killed for saying that. I didn't think it was gonna be a real big deal.
I took it as a comedy bit that was also poking his finger at reality. You know, but I took it as a comedy bit. I mean, I think he was halfway serious, halfway kidding, but it wasn't anything negative towards Clark at all. And anybody that thinks it is a moron.
No, he was trolling the WNBA.
completely.
And not just in WNBA, the
media.
the media,
Yep.
the way that,
Probably even more the media.
yeah, but yeah, like I said, I never thought that was going to be a big deal or big story, and then
Yep.
we got done doing our show, and I see that people are in outrage because McAfee called.
I bet.
I'm like, what? Well, you guys are taking that way out of context, but like on Twitter, like when or X, when McAfee put his apology out, there was more people in the comments that was basically saying you don't need to, you really don't need to apologize. You really didn't do nothing wrong. Then there was that was like, you know, what I mean, that was on him, at least in the comments there. But no, there was a lot of these other like it was. I didn't see it, but I guess they were talking about it on a lot of the daily morning shows, like Good Morning America and other things this morning. From what McAfee had said on the show, I don't watch that stuff, so I don't know what all was said on there, but I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were
Angel
making
Reese.
a lot bigger deal.
Angel Reese can't keep her mouth shut, can she?
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I saw that last night.
I don't get it.
Yeah, the league, hardly nobody's watching. People are starting to watch it. Why does it matter who's it? I don't know. But, well, all right. Well, did you have anything else for today?
Nope, I'm good to go.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back tomorrow right around 3:00. Another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Hope everybody has a great night.